Okay, so we have a few questions tonight. The first one, well, there's three questions that I'm going to answer tonight. One has to do with my own personal journey, which I will save until the very end. The other one has to do with um, the Akashic Records and where that information comes from. Um, and the first question I'm going to answer tonight has to do with life purpose. And I think this is something we all struggle with. I know I have for a very long time, and we hear about it a lot. It kind of seems like everywhere you go, we're hearing about and talking about life purpose and what's your life purpose and how do you know if you're on the right track. Um, and it's a big question. So the first part of finding your life purpose um, is it's important to, first of all, be able to listen to your emotions. So using your emotions as that guide map. If something excites you, there's a reason for it exciting you. If something if there's a sudden interest or a sudden idea or something you want to explore further, and there's all these good feelings from it, by all means, you want to be exploring it, because that's often how we find our life path. If the emotions come from a place of fear or uncertainty, um, a lot of the time when we're trying to find our life path or our life purpose, fear becomes very big. It kind of exacerbates um, that because a lot of the time with our life purpose and our life path, especially if we're looking in terms of work related, fear of lack of money. Am I going to be able to do it? Am I going to be able to follow through? Do I have the skills? Those fears often come up and become first and foremost. So you want to really be able to differentiate those positive emotions from negative emotions and give yourself time to work with those emotions and really decipher if there's negative emotions, where are they coming from and what do they mean? Now, part of kind of helping to do this, especially when a lot of different life paths start opening up, it becomes very important to center yourself, to quieten yourself. Because if we're always running around, first of all, we can't listen to our emotions the way we should be. Um, And second of all, if we're always running around, we're not giving ourselves a chance to really be able to listen to ourselves. That's often where confusion comes in. When we're not giving ourselves enough space or quiet time, first of all, to ground, and second of all, to let our brain and our nervous system calm down so we can decipher the fears from the excitement. Sometimes they feel the same, sometimes they feel similar. And to really let those thoughts stop spinning sometimes. So once you're coming from a place of groundedness and centeredness, then you're in a much better place to start looking at what's going on, and where do I want life to go or take me, or where is life going or taking me? Because often when you do strike on that right life purpose, you're flowing with it. You're going with the current instead of against the current. So it feels like the world is leading you instead of you leading the world. And that becomes a very important differentiation. often if it's really hard, if it's really difficult, we want to take a step back and really question whether it's the right path for us, or if there's a fear and we are getting in our own way. Okay. Now, some easy tools to really decipher, because once we've done that, then sometimes we doubt ourselves. And the more you start working with the universe, spirit, whatever you want to call the world, the more you will start building up your trust in yourself, your trust in the universe, your trust in spirit, your trust all around. So then it becomes a lot easier to start asking for signs and working with universe. So if there's many paths that have opened up, and I know for this question, it's, one of the specifics is that there are many paths opening up. And which one is the right one? Are they all? And maybe they all are. Our life purpose doesn't have to be dedicated to one thing. Although often when you look at multiple paths opening up, there's always a thread. There's a through line and a thread that is consistent. The theme is kind of consistent in everything. So what you want to be doing, first of all, is making sure that when you're working with the universe, you want to be asking for your divine path. You don't just want to be going down any path, because often what happens when we go down, when we ask for, any path or a path that is not our divine path, we may be put into a path that might work, but might not be fulfilling for us, because often one path is more fulfilling than another. If you're doing multiple things, there's many different takes on that. I personally enjoy doing many different things. So as long as you can focus yourself, and that feels like the right thing for you, don't worry about it. And if one of those things happens not to be the right path, what you'll find is that the path that isn't right for you will start dying down, or just it'll become a struggle. Now, once you've asked for that divine path, you then, first of all, want to give thanks for it coming in. And then you want to ask for a divine lead or sign. So we often talk about day signs. When people are talking about seeing their favorite number over and over and over again, or seeing their animal totem, or there's something that's very meaningful to you, and that becomes your sign. So whenever you see it, you know that that's the universe talking to you. And you can set your own day signs. You also want to ask for the definite sign to be very clear to you. Okay? So some of the things that might occur, it might be day signs, it might be numbers, it might be your favorite animal, it might be something like that. When it becomes more definite, you might get something like someone will phone you up and ask you for exactly what you're thinking about. for instance, if I have a friend who over the weekend asked for a definite sign to tell her she was on the right path. And what started happening was she got 3 work opportunities on the path that she asked about. That just came in very flukily out of the blue. She was not working in the field at the time. And all these messages kept on coming in. And that same message that told her she was on the right path came in for probably 5 or 6 times in a row. So you just want to watch and make sure that you trust that when you see that definite sign, that is indeed for you. And so it should be fairly obvious because you're asking for it to be definite. If it's not obvious enough for you, ask for it again and ask for it to be more obvious. So you can have that dialogue back and forth with the universe while doing this and asking for your sign.